Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha, your host for today. If you are new here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every single day to help you improve your English faster and more confidently. In today's episode, you will not only practice your English listening skills, but also your speaking skills. Today's lesson is a complete advanced English fluency masterclass, and it's designed to help you speak English more clearly, confidently, and naturally in just 30 days. We'll go through real-life practice examples and guided exercises that will help you understand natural English, improve your sentence flow, and pick up powerful expressions to make your speech sound fluent and effortless. Whether you're introducing yourself, having casual conversations, or explaining your ideas in detail, you'll learn exactly how to think in English and speak without hesitation. By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident in every conversation you have, and you'll have a step-by-step plan you can follow every single day for the next 30 days to see real results in your fluency. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss any of our helpful English learning lessons. So, grab your pen and paper, and let's get started. When you think about speaking English fluently in just 30 days, it might feel like a big challenge, something that only very advanced learners can do. But the truth is, fluency is not about memorizing thousands of new words in a short time. It's about using the words you already know in the right way, with the right rhythm and the right confidence. Today, I'm going to guide you step by step so you can train your brain, your mouth, and your ears to work together every single day for the next month. And you'll be surprised at how much progress you can make. Let's start with something very important. Many learners believe that fluency means speaking fast, but that's not true. Fluency is about speaking smoothly, without long pauses, without struggling to find words, and about expressing your thoughts clearly, even if you speak at a slow pace. So, in this masterclass, we are going to focus on clarity, flow, and confidence, not speed. Speed will come naturally as your comfort level grows. Now, I want you to imagine a simple daily routine that we'll use for practice. You wake up in the morning, you make your bed, you prepare your breakfast, you get ready for the day. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are perfect for practicing English in real time. Instead of doing these actions silently, speak to yourself in English. For example, as you pour your coffee, you can say, "I'm pouring my coffee into the cup. It smells so fresh and warm." This may sound too simple, but speaking about what you're doing in the moment will train your brain to connect actions with English words instantly. Let's try it together. I will say a sentence, and you repeat after me. Ready? I am brushing my teeth. Again, I am brushing my teeth. Now a bit faster. I'm brushing my teeth. Do you hear the difference in rhythm? This is how we move from slow, clear English to more natural, connected speech. Every day, I want you to choose at least 5 simple actions and describe them in English as you do them. Another key to achieving fluency in 30 days is daily listening practice. But here's the secret. You should listen actively, not passively. That means instead of just hearing the words, you focus on the pronunciation, the intonation, the pauses. For example, if I say, "Could you pass me the salt, please?" Listen to the way my voice rises on "could you" and falls gently at the end. Now repeat. Could you pass me the salt, please? Good. The more you notice these patterns, the easier it will be for you to sound natural when you speak. We're also going to work on shadowing, which means listening to a sentence in English and repeating it immediately, trying to match the tone, speed, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Let's do a quick shadowing practice. I'll say the sentence once slowly, then normally, and you follow along. I'm going to the store to buy some bread. Slowly. I am going to the store to buy some bread. Now normally. I'm going to the store to buy some bread. This exercise trains your mouth to copy natural English sounds, and it's one of the fastest ways to build fluency. Here's your first challenge for today. For the next hour, I want you to think in English as much as possible. When you look around, name the objects you see. When you plan your next task, say it in English in your mind, or out loud if you can. Even if your sentences are short, it's fine. The goal is to keep the English channel in your brain open so that it becomes your default language during the day. And remember, mistakes are not your enemy. In fact, they are your best teacher. The only way to avoid mistakes is to stay silent. But silence will never make you fluent. Every time you speak, you give yourself an opportunity to improve. So in these 30 days, speak as much as you can, even if you're not 100% sure. Confidence grows when you practice without fear. Let's do a more speaking drill together before we move on. I'll give you a short conversation. You repeat after me, keeping the same tone and speed. Hi, how are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. And you? I'm great, thanks for asking. This type of short, friendly exchange is the foundation of natural conversation, and the more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. Now, let's take your practice a little deeper. Speaking fluently isn't just about reacting in the moment, it's also about being prepared. And one of the best ways to prepare is by having ready-to-use sentences in your mind. These are sentences you've practiced so many times that they roll off your tongue without thinking. For example, can you help me with this? Or, I'm not sure, could you explain that again? If you practice these ready-made sentences daily, you'll find that in real conversations, you respond much faster and with more confidence. Let's try a small set together. Repeat after me. Could you tell me how to get there? Again. Could you tell me how to get there? Now a bit faster and more naturally. Could you tell me how to get there? Good. Now another one. I didn't catch that. Could you say it again? Repeat. I didn't catch that. Could you say it again? Now faster. I didn't catch that. Could you say it again? When you train with these patterns, you're building a muscle memory for speaking, just like athletes train their bodies to move automatically. You're training your mouth to speak English without delay. The next thing we're going to focus on is describing things around you. This is a very powerful habit because it forces your brain to connect real objects and situations with English words in real time. For example, if you're at a bus stop, you might say to yourself, "There's a blue bus coming down the street. It's stopping to pick up passengers." People are getting on and off quickly. By doing this, you are practicing observation, vocabulary, and sentence building all at once. Let's do a guided description exercise together. I'll describe something, and you repeat. Imagine you're in your kitchen. There's a kettle on the stove. The water inside is boiling. Steam is rising from the spout. I can hear the sound of bubbles. Now, think of your own kitchen. Look around and describe 3 objects you see. You can say, there is, or I see, or I'm looking at. Speak them out loud if you can. Another way to speed up your fluency in 30 days is to connect new vocabulary with something personal. This way, you'll remember it faster and use it more often. For example, if you learn the word delighted, don't just think of the dictionary meaning, connect it to a memory. Maybe the time you received a surprise gift. You could say, I was delighted when I opened the package and saw the book I'd been wanting for months. Personal connections make words stick in your long-term memory. Now, let's practice combining old words with new ones. Suppose you already know the word happy and you learn the word thrilled. You can practice by saying, I was happy to see my friend, and then, I was thrilled to see my friend. Feel how the emotion changes. When you do this kind of variation practice every day, your vocabulary grows naturally, and you start using richer, more expressive English. One of the most effective habits to adopt right now is speaking for 1 full minute without stopping. It doesn't matter what the topic is, the goal is to keep going, even if you make small mistakes. For example, pick a topic like my favorite food and talk about it for 60 seconds. You might say, my favorite food is pasta. I like it because it's warm, filling, and you can add so many different sauces. My favorite sauce is tomato with fresh herbs. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to make pasta every Sunday. By pushing yourself to keep talking, you're teaching your brain to keep finding words and not freeze mid-sentence. Let's try this together. I'll give you a topic, and you speak for 1 minute. Your topic is the last time you went shopping. Start with when you went, where you went, what you bought, and how you felt. Remember, keep going. Even if you repeat a few words, repetition is better than silence. Finally, for this section, I want you to remember that fluency is a daily journey, not a single moment of achievement. Every day you speak, you're building stronger connections in your brain. Every sentence you say out loud is a step closer to thinking in English naturally. And the next 30 days are going to be your training ground. So commit to showing up every single day, even for 10 minutes. You'll be amazed at what can happen in just 1 month. Let's focus now on one of the most underestimated skills in fluency, transitions. Transitions are the little bridges between your ideas. They make your speech sound smooth and connected. Without them, your sentences can feel like separate blocks. And that makes conversation less natural. Words like so, actually, by the way, in fact, you know, and well are small, but they're powerful. They help your listener follow your thoughts, and they give you a moment to think without creating an awkward silence. Let's practice. I'll give you 2 short sentences, and you connect them with a transition. I enjoy reading. It helps me relax. You could say, I enjoy reading because it helps me relax. Or, I enjoy reading and it helps me relax. Notice how the sentences flow better. Now, another example. I was tired. I kept working. You can join them with, even though I was tired, I kept working. Practicing these links will make your speech sound more natural and intelligent. Here's a quick exercise you can do every day. Take 5 random sentences and practice connecting them with different transitions. For example, I need to buy milk. I want to visit my friend. You could say, I need to buy milk, and after that, I want to visit my friend. Or, I need to buy milk, but I also want to visit my friend. The more you experiment with these connectors, the more flexible and fluent you'll become. Another essential part of your 30-day journey is controlling your tone. Tone is the music of your speech. It tells people whether you're excited, calm, curious, or serious. Even if your grammar is perfect, speaking in a flat tone can make you sound less confident. For example, say this sentence flatly. That's a great idea. Now say it with enthusiasm. That's a great idea. You can hear the difference instantly. This is why we'll include tone practice in your daily routine. Let's do it now. Repeat after me with energy. I'm so happy to see you. Again. I'm so happy to see you. Now try a calm tone. I'm so happy to see you. See how tone changes the feeling? In real life, adjusting your tone helps your listener feel connected to you. Fluency also depends on how you deal with words you don't know. If you can't remember a specific word, don't freeze. Use a simpler word or explain it in another way. For example, if you forget the word microwave, you could say, the machine that heats food quickly. This technique is called circumlocution, and it's a lifesaver for keeping conversations moving. Let's practice. Imagine you can't remember the word wallet. Describe it. You could say, it's a small case where I keep my money and cards. See? You communicated the idea without needing the exact word. Practicing this skill will make you fearless in conversations because you'll always have a way to express yourself. Now, we're going to work on reaction time. In natural conversation, people expect a reply quickly, not after a long pause. So I'll ask you simple questions, and I want you to answer instantly, even if your answer is short. Ready? What's your favorite drink? Say your answer. Where did you last go on holiday? Say it now. What's one thing you enjoy doing in your free time? Good. The more you train quick responses, the less you'll overthink when you speak to real people. And here's an important mindset shift. Every conversation is practice. Whether you're talking to a friend, a colleague, or even to yourself, every moment you spend speaking English counts toward your fluency. Don't wait for the perfect moment to practice. It's happening right now. The grocery store cashier, your neighbor, the person you sit next to on a bus. All of these are chances to train your fluency in real situations. For the rest of today, I want you to focus on one goal. Whenever you have an opportunity to speak English, take it, even if it's just a greeting or a short exchange. Build these small wins, because they will stack up quickly over the next 30 days. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful habits you can develop during these 30 days, daily topic immersion. This means you choose one topic for the day and surround yourself with English related to that topic. You read about it, you watch something about it, you talk about it, and you even write about it. For example, if your topic is travel, you can read a short article about travel tips, watch a short video about popular destinations, and then speak for a few minutes about your own travel experiences. Immersion like this keeps your brain focused and makes learning feel purposeful instead of random. Let's do a quick practice together. Today's mini topic will be food. I'll ask you a few questions, and you answer them out loud. What is your favorite dish, and why do you like it? How often do you eat it? Can you describe the taste and texture? To make this habit more effective, keep a small notebook or a notes app on your phone. When you hear or read a new word connected to your daily topic, write it down. Then, at least 3 times during the day, use that new word in a sentence. For example, if the new word is crispy, you might say, "The fries are crispy on the outside and soft on the inside." Or, "I like my toast crispy in the morning." This repetition cements the word in your active vocabulary. Another powerful skill for fluency is storytelling. People love stories, and when you can tell a story in English, you not only hold attention, but you also practice structuring your thoughts clearly. Start small. Tell short stories about real events in your life. For example, yesterday I was walking to the store when I saw a beautiful rainbow. It was so bright and colorful that I stopped to take a picture. A little girl next to me pointed at it and smiled. This simple story uses the past tense, description, and sequencing, all essential for fluency. Let's practice building a story together. I'll start, and you continue. Last weekend, I went to a park near my house. Now add what you did there, who you were with, and how you felt. Remember, use details like colors, sounds, and feelings. This makes your story more vivid and memorable. Speaking of details, one reason some learners struggle with fluency is because they speak in very short, basic sentences. For example, "I went to the market, I bought fruit, it was good." While this is correct, it's not very engaging. You can expand it by adding details. "I went to the market early in the morning because I wanted to buy fresh fruit. The air was cool, and the smell of ripe strawberries filled the stalls. I bought a basket of strawberries, some sweet mangoes, and a bunch of bananas." Adding details not only improves fluency, but also helps you practice more vocabulary and sentence structures. Here's a daily exercise. Choose one thing you did today and describe it in 3 different ways: simple, detailed, and emotional. For example, simple, "I went for a walk." Detailed, "I went for a walk around the neighborhood this morning and saw flowers blooming." Emotional, "I went for a peaceful walk this morning, and seeing the bright flowers made me feel calm and happy." This will train you to express the same idea at different levels of richness. Finally, for this section, remember to celebrate small improvements. You may not notice them day by day, but they are happening. That moment when you respond without translating in your head. The first time you understand a fast sentence without replaying it. The time you tell a story and the other person smiles. These are signs that your fluency is growing, and each one is worth noticing. Now, let's focus on training your listening and speaking skills together. Many learners separate these two, but when you combine them, your fluency grows much faster. One way to do this is through echo practice. This is when you listen to someone speaking in English, and as soon as they finish a short sentence, you repeat it in your own voice, copying their tone and rhythm. It's similar to shadowing, but you have a slight pause so you can process and then speak. This small gap lets you think about the words and structure before repeating. Let's try a short echo drill right now. I'll say a sentence, pause, and you repeat exactly. I'm learning new phrases every day. Now you. I enjoy practicing English in the morning. Now you. I'm becoming more confident with my speaking skills. Now you. Doing this for just 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference to your pronunciation and confidence. Another useful habit is practicing question switching. This is when you take a question someone asks you, answer it, and then switch it back to them. It keeps conversations flowing and gives you more chances to speak. For example, if someone says, "How was your weekend?" you can say, "It was great, thank you. How was yours?" This not only shows interest, but it also doubles your speaking practice in the same conversation. Let's do a practice round. I'll be the other person. What do you usually have for breakfast? You answer. Then ask me the same question. When was the last time you traveled? You answer. Then ask me. What's your favorite hobby? Again, answer. Then ask me. The more you do this, the more natural it feels to keep a conversation alive. Fluency also grows when you practice reaction phrases, short, automatic responses you can use without thinking. These include phrases like, "Really? That's interesting. Oh, I didn't know that." Exactly. I see what you mean. Using these makes you sound engaged and helps you fill gaps while you think of your next idea. Try repeating after me with natural tone. Really? That's interesting. I see what you mean. Exactly. Now imagine someone tells you, "I just learned how to cook pasta." You could reply instantly, "Really? That's great." These small reactions make your English sound alive, not robotic. We also need to work on paraphrasing, saying the same idea in a different way. This is a superpower for fluency because it means you can keep speaking even if you forget an exact word or phrase. For example, if someone says, "I had a tough day at work," you could respond, "So it was a bit stressful for you today?" Or, "It sounds like your day was challenging." By practicing paraphrasing, you learn to say more with the vocabulary you already know. Here's an exercise. I'll give you a sentence and you try to say it in a different way. I'm very tired. You could say, I feel exhausted. I'm worn out. I don't have much energy left. Now another one. The movie was good. You could say, I really enjoyed the movie. It was entertaining. It was worth watching. See how many options you can create for each idea. And finally, for this section, let's work on describing feelings and opinions. When you speak about how you feel, it creates a deeper connection in conversation. Instead of only saying, I like it, try saying why. For example, I like this cafe because the atmosphere is so relaxing and the coffee always tastes fresh. Adding reasons makes your sentences longer and richer, giving you more speaking practice. One of the most effective ways to strengthen your fluency is to practice speaking in different time frames. Being able to talk naturally about the past, present, and future will make you more versatile in any conversation. For the past, you can use examples like, yesterday, I went to the park and met an old friend. For the present, you could say, I'm sitting at my desk right now, listening to music. For the future, you might say, tomorrow I'm going to visit my cousin in another city. Switching between these quickly is a great brain workout. Let's try it together. I'll give you an action, and you say it in all three tenses. Cook dinner. In the past, I cooked dinner last night. In the present, I'm cooking dinner right now. In the future, I'm going to cook dinner tomorrow evening. This type of drill keeps your grammar flexible and ready for any situation. Another area to focus on is expanding short answers into full sentences. When someone asks you, "Do you like reading?" you could just say, "Yes," but that ends the conversation. Instead, you can say, "Yes, I like reading because it helps me relax and learn new things." The more you practice adding reasons, details, and examples to your answers, the more naturally you will speak for longer periods. Here's an exercise for you. I'll ask you a question, and you answer with at least 2 extra details. Do you enjoy cooking? Have you ever traveled abroad? What kind of music do you like? Take a moment to think, but don't pause for too long. Let your ideas flow, even if you make small mistakes. Another important skill for these 30 days is learning to self-correct without breaking your flow. If you make a mistake, simply repeat the sentence correctly and keep going. For example, if you say, "She go to the market yesterday," you can quickly correct yourself. "She went to the market yesterday." This shows you're aware of the grammar, but you don't stop the conversation to fix it. The more you practice this, the smoother your speech will be. To help with this, try a quick correction drill. Speak for 1 minute about any topic, and whenever you hear yourself make a mistake, repeat the sentence correctly right away. You might be surprised at how quickly your brain starts to notice and fix errors automatically. Another habit to build is speaking with emotion and personal connection. Think about how you would tell a story to a close friend. You wouldn't just list facts. You would add feelings, reactions, and little details that make it interesting. For example, "I went to the park and the sun was shining so brightly. I felt so happy just sitting on the grass, watching the birds fly around." This kind of storytelling makes your English memorable and engaging. Finally, remember to challenge yourself to speak longer every few days. If you can speak for 1 minute today, aim for 2 minutes next week, then 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to stretch your comfort zone. By the end of 30 days, you'll notice that talking for 5 minutes in English feels completely normal, and that's a huge step toward fluency. One habit that will speed up your progress in these 30 days is thinking aloud in English. This means you speak your thoughts as they come, almost like narrating your day to yourself. For example, if you're walking to the store, you can say, "I'm walking down the street. The weather is warm today. I can smell fresh bread from the bakery on the corner." This trains your brain to build sentences in real time without translating from your first language. If you can't speak aloud because you're in public, you can still think in English silently. Describe what you see, what you feel, or what you plan to do next. For example, "After I finish this, I'm going to call my friend. I need to buy some vegetables for dinner. I should check my emails before lunch." Over time, this habit will make English your default way of thinking. Another powerful exercise is what I call expand and extend. You take a simple sentence and add more detail to it. For example, start with, "I like coffee." Then expand it. "I like coffee because it helps me wake up in the morning." and extend it further. I like coffee because it helps me wake up in the morning, and I enjoy the rich aroma that fills the kitchen as it brews. By stretching your sentences like this, you'll naturally train yourself to speak for longer without pauses. Let's try a few more together. Start with, I enjoy music. Expand it. I enjoy music because it helps me relax. Now extend. I enjoy music because it helps me relax after work and it reminds me of happy times with friends. This practice is simple, but if you do it every day, your fluency will grow quickly. It's also important to notice how native speakers use fillers. Fillers are small words or sounds like, well, you know, I mean, and actually. They give you time to think without stopping completely. For example, well, I think we should start now. You know, that movie was better than I expected. Actually, I've never tried that before. These make your speech sound more natural, but remember, don't overuse them. Let's do a filler practice. I'll say a sentence and you repeat it with a filler at the start. It's raining today. Add, well, at the start. I like reading books. Add, Yuki. Now, at the start. I don't have time for that. Add, actually, at the start. Practicing this will help you insert fillers smoothly when you need a second to think. Another technique that will help you sound confident is to practice varying your sentence length. If every sentence you say is short, your speech can sound choppy. If every sentence is long, it can become confusing. The key is balance. For example, I love traveling. Short. Then, I love traveling because it gives me the chance to explore new cultures, meet interesting people, and taste different foods. Long. This natural variation keeps your listener interested. And here's a challenge for today. Record yourself speaking about any topic for 2 minutes. When you listen back, pay attention to your pauses, your tone, and your speed. Notice if you're using fillers, if you're speaking in complete sentences, and if you sound engaged. Then, record the same topic again, trying to improve just one thing. This kind of self-feedback will make you aware of your habits and help you change them faster. A great way to accelerate your fluency is to practice role-playing different situations. Role-playing lets you imagine real-life conversations and prepare for them in advance. You can act out a job interview, a restaurant order, a small talk conversation, or even a phone call. For example, if you practice ordering food, you might say, "Good evening, I'd like to order the grilled chicken with vegetables, please." Then imagine the waiter asking, "Would you like anything to drink?" And you respond, "Yes, I'll have a glass of water, thank you." By practicing these scenarios, you'll feel prepared when they happen in real life. Let's try one now. Imagine you are at the airport check-in counter. The agent says, "May I have your passport, please?" You reply, "Yes, here it is." Then the agent says, "Would you like a window or an aisle seat?" You answer, "I'd like a window seat, please." The more you practice these everyday exchanges, the more automatic your responses become. Another to work on is asking follow-up questions. Many learners only answer questions but don't keep the conversation going. If someone says, "I went to the beach last weekend," you can respond with curiosity. "Oh, really? Which beach did you go to?" Or, "That sounds nice. Was the weather good?" Follow-up questions not only give you more speaking practice, but also make you sound friendly and engaged. To train this habit, take any sentence you hear and think of 2 questions you could ask about it. For example, I bought a new phone. You could ask, what kind of phone is it? And why did you choose that model? Doing this regularly will make your conversations more dynamic. Fluency also depends on rhythm, the natural flow of your words. English has a pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. Practicing with rhythm will make your speech smoother and easier to understand. For example, say, I'm going to the store to buy some milk. Notice how certain words are stressed. Going, store, buy, milk. Now try repeating it with the same emphasis. Here's another rhythm drill. She's working on a big project at the office. Stress, working, big, project, and office. This will help you speak with a natural English cadence instead of sounding too flat or robotic. It's also important to learn how to politely pause when you need a moment to think. Instead of staying silent, you can use phrases like, "That's a good question. Let me think for a moment," or, "Well, I suppose." These small expressions buy you time and keep the conversation flowing naturally. Let's practice. I'll ask you a question, and before answering, you use a polite pause phrase. What is your favorite holiday destination? You could start with, "That's a good question. I think my favorite holiday destination is..." This sounds confident and gives you a moment to organize your thoughts. Finally, remember that speaking fluently is not about being perfect. It's about being understood and feeling comfortable. Even native speakers make small mistakes, repeat themselves, or change words mid-sentence. What matters is that you keep going. In the next few days, challenge yourself to speak without worrying about grammar all the time. Focus on the message first. The accuracy will improve naturally with more practice. One technique that will help you sound more natural is mirroring. Mirroring means you copy not only the words but also the body language, tone, and pace of the person you are speaking to. Of course, if you're practicing alone, you can mirror what you hear in videos or audio clips. For example, if you listen to someone saying, "I can't believe it's already Friday," you repeat it in the same speed, pitch, and style. This makes your English feel authentic and alive because you're learning the small, natural patterns that native speakers use. Let's try a few. I'll say them naturally, and you repeat. That sounds amazing. I didn't expect that at all. I'm so excited for tomorrow. Try to match not only the pronunciation, but the emotional tone behind the words. Another habit to develop is switching between formal and informal speech depending on the situation. In casual conversation with friends, you might say, "Hey, what's up?" In a more professional setting, you could say, "Good morning, how are you today?" Being able to adjust your style shows that you're flexible and aware of context. Here's a quick comparison practice. Informal. I'm gonna grab a coffee. Formal. I'm going to get a coffee. Informal. Wanna hang out later? Formal. Would you like to meet later? Switching like this will help you feel ready for any type of conversation. Another way to speed up your fluency is to train your brain to answer why and how questions fully. Many learners answer these questions too briefly. If someone asks, "Why do you like living here?" you could say, "I like living here because the weather is nice and there are plenty of parks to walk in." If they ask, "How do you usually spend your weekends?" you could say, "I usually spend my weekends reading, going for walks, and meeting friends for coffee." By adding more than one detail, you naturally speak longer and give your listener more to connect with. We should also talk about the importance of pronunciation drills. Spend a few minutes each day focusing on tricky sounds. For example, the th sound in think or this. Put your tongue between your teeth and push air out for think. For this, your tongue touches the same position but with your voice turned on. Practicing these small sounds makes your speech clearer and easier to understand. Let's try a quick drill. Repeat after me. Think, thought, through, now. This, that, these. Next, 33 thin things. Practice this slowly, then a bit faster, until it feels natural. And remember, fluency grows when you mix speaking with active listening. When you listen to someone, notice the phrases they use and try to reuse them in your next conversation. If you hear someone say, "I've been meaning to try that," write it down and practice saying it later. This habit will constantly refresh your vocabulary with real, modern English. To end this part, I want you to set a mini goal for today. Choose one phrase you've learned here and use it at least 3 times in real conversation or in your own speaking practice. This way, it becomes part of your active English, not just something you recognize when you hear it. One of the most valuable skills for reaching fluency quickly is being able to describe things from memory. When you recall and describe something you've experienced, you strengthen your ability to organize ideas in English without relying on translation. Start with simple events: a conversation you had, a meal you ate, a place you visited, and tell the story in detail. For example, last Sunday I went to my favorite cafe. I ordered a cappuccino and a slice of chocolate cake. The cafe was busy, and the sound of people chatting made the atmosphere warm and friendly. I sat by the window and watched the rain fall outside. This kind of mental replay is a perfect way to combine vocabulary, grammar, and storytelling skills in one exercise. You can also challenge yourself by describing the same memory in different ways. First, keep it short and simple. Then make it more descriptive. And finally, add feelings and opinions. This trains your flexibility in expressing ideas. For example, I went to the cafe. Then, I went to the cafe on Sunday morning and had coffee. And then, I went to the cafe on Sunday morning, enjoyed a warm cappuccino, and felt completely relaxed while watching the rain outside. Doing this every day will make your thoughts flow more easily in English. Another habit that will help is practicing comparisons. This is when you talk about the similarities and differences between two things. For example, tea and coffee are both popular drinks, but tea has a lighter flavor while coffee is stronger and more bitter. Comparisons not only help you practice adjectives and structure, but they also give you more speaking material. Let's try a quick comparison drill. Compare summer and winter. Summer is warm and sunny, and people spend more time outdoors, while winter is cold and people usually stay indoors more often. Now compare books and movies. Books allow you to imagine the scenes in your mind, while movies show you the story visually. You can do this with almost anything: food, cities, hobbies, even people's personalities. It's also useful to practice giving explanations. If someone asks you a question, explain your answer instead of just stating it. For example, if you're asked, "Do you like swimming?" instead of saying, "Yes," you could say, "Yes, I like swimming because it helps me stay fit, and I enjoy being in the water, especially in summer." Adding explanations makes your speaking richer and more engaging. And when you explain something, don't be afraid to use examples. For instance, I think learning English through movies is effective because you can hear real conversations. For example, I learned the phrase, take your time from a film, and now I use it in daily life. Examples give your listener a clear picture of what you mean, and they make your point stronger. Another way to boost fluency is to play the what if game. Ask yourself hypothetical questions and answer them out loud. For example, what if I won the lottery? If I won the lottery, I would travel the world, buy a house by the beach, and help my family. These imaginary situations push you to think creatively in English and use a variety of tenses and structures. Finally, remember that the key to speaking fluently in 30 days is consistent, focused practice. You don't need to spend hours every day. Even 20 to 30 minutes of concentrated speaking, listening, and thinking in English will create huge improvements. The more you make English part of your everyday life, the faster it will feel like a natural part of you. Another simple but powerful practice is to retell something you've heard or read in your own words. This could be a short news story, a conversation you listened to, or even part of a movie. When you retell it, you are processing the information, reorganizing it in your mind, and expressing it using your own vocabulary. For example, if you read a short article about healthy eating, you could say, the article talked about the benefits of eating fresh fruits and vegetables every day. It explained that they give you energy, help your body stay strong, and reduce the risk of illness. It also suggested drinking plenty of water. This exercise helps with both comprehension and fluency at the same time. You can make it even more challenging by retelling something from a different perspective. For example, if the article is written in the third person, you could retell it in the first person. I eat fresh fruits and vegetables every day because they give me energy, help me stay strong, and reduce the risk of illness. I also make sure to drink plenty of water. This adds variety to your speaking and forces you to adjust your sentences on the spot. A related habit is summarizing your day before you go to sleep. You can say, this morning I woke up early, made breakfast, and went for a walk. In the afternoon, I worked on my project and made some phone calls. In the evening, I relaxed with a book before having dinner. This not only gives you a daily speaking routine, but it also helps you remember and use vocabulary for everyday activities. Another effective drill is opinion building. Choose a random topic and speak for 1 minute, sharing your opinion and reasons. For example, I think people should read more books because reading improves focus, teaches new information, and exercises the mind. In my opinion, it's better than spending too much time on social media. Practicing this regularly will help you develop quick, confident responses to open-ended questions. It's also helpful to combine opinion building with debate practice. Imagine someone disagrees with you and respond politely. For example, if someone says, I think social media is better than reading books, you could say, I understand your point, but I think books give us a deeper level of knowledge and concentration that social media can't provide. This teaches you to stay calm, express yourself clearly, and use respectful language even when you disagree. You can also practice fluency by describing processes step by step. For example, how to make tea. First, I boil some water in a kettle, then I pour a tea bag into a cup. When the water is hot, I pour it into the cup and let it sit for a few minutes. After that, I remove the tea bag and add sugar or milk if I want. Describing a process like this forces you to think in sequence, which is very useful for structured speaking. And don't forget the importance of self-motivation. Every day, remind yourself why you want to speak English fluently. Maybe it's for work opportunities, travel, studying abroad, or making friends from around the world. Keeping that reason in mind will give you the energy to practice even when you feel tired or busy. A great way to strengthen your fluency is to practice describing images or scenes. You can use photos from a magazine, pictures online, or even things you see in real life. Look at the image closely and talk about everything you notice. For example, in the picture, there is a family having a picnic in the park. The parents are sitting on a blanket, smiling at each other, while their children are playing with a ball nearby. The sun is shining brightly, and there are trees in the background. This trains you to observe details quickly and express them clearly in English. To make it more challenging, try adding a story to the image. I think this family came to the park to celebrate a birthday. They probably brought homemade sandwiches and drinks. The children look very happy, maybe because they don't often get to play outside together. This forces you to use your imagination, which helps you practice a wider range of vocabulary and sentence structures. Another practice method is to set a timer and speak non-stop for 2 or 3 minutes. Choose any topic, your weekend plans, your favorite food, or something you learned recently. The goal is to keep talking without stopping to translate or search for perfect grammar. If you can't think of the exact word, use a simpler one or explain it. Over time, this exercise builds the habit of speaking continuously, which is essential for fluency. You can also improve your speaking by practicing with contrasts. Describe 2 different things and switch between them. For example, in the city, life is fast-paced and noisy. People are always in a hurry, and there is traffic everywhere. In the countryside, life is slower and quieter. You can hear birds singing, and people have more time to talk to each other. Switching between the 2 descriptions trains your brain to organize ideas quickly. An equally important skill is to work on your listening memory. Listen to a short conversation and then repeat as much as you can remember. For example, if you hear, "I'm going to the store to buy some vegetables. Do you need anything?" You could repeat, "You're going to the store to buy vegetables, and you asked if I need anything." This improves both comprehension and recall, which will make your responses in conversation quicker and more accurate. And finally, always remind yourself that fluency grows from consistency. It's not about one long, perfect study session. It's about showing up every single day, speaking, listening, and thinking in English. Even 5 or 10 minutes of focused practice can make a real difference when done daily. In 30 days, you will look back and realize how much more naturally you can express yourself. Another technique you can add to your daily routine is time pressure speaking. This is when you give yourself a short amount of time to answer a question or talk about a topic. For example, set a timer for 30 seconds and answer, "What did you do yesterday?" Then increase it to 1 minute with the same topic, adding more details and expanding your sentences. The time limit forces you to think quickly, while repeating the topic helps you add new ideas each round. You can also combine this with question cycling. Choose 3 questions and answer them one after another without pausing. For example, what is your favorite food? My favorite food is pasta because it's comforting, easy to make, and I can change the ingredients every time. What do you usually do on weekends? On weekends, I like to wake up a bit later, go for a walk, and meet my friends for coffee. Where would you like to travel next? I'd love to visit Japan because of its culture, food, and beautiful scenery. Cycling like this gives you rapid practice and keeps your mind active in English. Another powerful drill is story chaining. Start with a simple sentence and keep adding details one by one, linking them smoothly. For example, I went to the park. I went to the park yesterday afternoon. I went to the park yesterday afternoon to meet my friend. I went to the park yesterday afternoon to meet my friend because we hadn't seen each other in months. This builds your ability to extend ideas naturally instead of stopping too soon. It's also useful to practice spontaneous descriptions of your surroundings. Wherever you are, look around and start talking about what you see, hear, and feel. I'm sitting at my desk. There's a cup of tea next to my computer. Outside, I can hear a car passing by. The room feels warm and quiet. Doing this trains you to form sentences instantly about real situations, which is exactly what happens in conversation. Don't forget to mix in emotional language when you speak. Words like amazing, frustrating, peaceful, and exciting make your speech more colorful. Instead of saying, "The view was nice," you could say, "The view was breathtaking, and it made me feel peaceful inside." The more you use these expressions, the more engaging your speaking will become. To end today's practice, remember that fluency in 30 days comes from 3 main things: speaking as much as possible, listening actively, and thinking in English whenever you can. Every moment you choose English over silence or your first language is a step toward your goal. Keep showing up, keep practicing, and in 1 month you will surprise yourself with how far you've come. Before we wrap up, I want you to take a moment and think about how far you can go in 30 days if you commit to this journey. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day, speaking a little more, listening a little more, and letting English become a natural part of your life. Even the smallest moments count. Ordering food, greeting a neighbor, or talking to yourself about what you're doing. These moments build into habits, and those habits lead to fluency. I encourage you to challenge yourself starting today. Speak to someone in English, even if it's just one sentence. Listen to a short English clip and repeat it out loud. Describe something around you in detail. Keep stacking these small actions day after day. You'll notice your confidence growing, your words flowing more easily, and your thoughts coming to you faster in English. If you found today's masterclass helpful and you want more lessons like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of the daily English learning videos that will guide you step by step toward fluency. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you get notified every time a new lesson is posted. Thank you for spending this time practicing with me today. I'm proud of the effort you're making for your English. Keep going, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, take care and keep speaking English every single day.